Welcome back. This is Bryan Vogt, your host of Ready, Set, Sold. I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. What I'm going to talk about in this segment here is the tip of the week. And it's usually the $5,000 tip of the week. And in this situation, it's the same way. And that is as-is houses. Briefly, what as-is houses means is the house is literally what you see is what you get. Goodness sakes, if the house falls down the day after the buyer moves into it, so be it. And that could be a very, very good way to sell your home. There's nothing wrong with that. Many times we had a situation not too long ago where there was a person retiring. They were going to a nursing home. They had lived there for 40 years, and they had not done the updates, and they hadn't done really anything to the home, and they knew that, and they priced it accordingly, got the house sold. Makes perfect sense. Their money situation was in very good shape, so they were very happy with that, and the house was gone. All good. However, sometimes, and this is where the tip comes in, you want to make sure you're talking to your agent that you understand exactly what an as-is house is. As-is house, in the buyer's perspective, is, as I mentioned before, the house could fall down the next day after they bought it. So many times there is fear, trepidation, they're concerned about it. And the problem comes in, and this is where the problem really comes into, is that sellers are doing as-is houses, and they're marketing it that way, and they're even pricing in that way, and they're taking a hit when it really never had to go that direction in the first place as is. Well, let me give you a perfect example. It just happened not too long ago, and that was as we know of a seller that their house was $150. They took considerable price drop. They were going to do an as-is house. They lived there for 25, 30 years. That was fine. And they did, and they sold it for like $125, and they're moving out, and life is good. No inspections, nothing like that they did in advance. The buyers came in and did an inspection to move in, and they found out that the only thing that would have moved it from a normal sale from an as-is house was a CO2 detector and some smoke detectors, which was like $50. So they took a hit of $25,000. $25,000 because, again, as-is houses usually do, and that's okay. It's situational. But you want to have a conversation with the agent to make sure that an as-is house, that they've asked some questions about it. For example, this house, they had just rewired the house 3 years ago. They had put in they got rid of all the lead pipes 5 years ago, new roof 5 years ago. So there was just some minor things that needed to be looked at, and it was no big deal. Yet they took the approach of that kind of cost, that kind of loss of $25,000. So again, as-is houses are good. There's nothing wrong with doing it, but make sure you have that conversation that you know exactly what we're talking about, that you and your agent are on the same page. So you don't have a situation where you lose $25,000 where $200 may have taken care of the problem to begin with. Hey, you guys, again, don't forget about the hurricane victims. Please donate as much as you can. It's been great talking with you, and I'll talk to you next week. Have a great one.